So now is where the rubber hits the road. Okay. Now the business funnel is the initiation of your blitzscaling activities, right? And the ratios and the details that you see on your screen are the ones which now you start use, which you start using and putting to practical use if you are already not using them. Clear? The genesis of blitzscaling. All right. So let's see what we have. Now, we talked about in a business funnel, there are again four aspects: the lead magnet, the tripwire, the co-product, and the profit maximizer. Okay, we've been talking about this from Rise 1. Now we're putting it into a funnel in actual classification of how it's being used. Okay, so your lead magnet being, say, a webinar, okay, where you have your traffic coming into play, right? And why webinar is used as an example here is because this is the maximum converter, if you will, and the following ratios that follow through are actually industry case examples that make it happen. So suppose you have 100% of traffic and you relate that traffic at 100%. Now we've gone through various aspects of that traffic activities. Now, but start thinking now in the way that you are now going to put tutorial videos, you're putting live videos, you're putting small, videos to attract the right kind of traffic, the blogs and podcasts, and some freebie stuff as your lead magnets, right? These elements of these form the 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 sources for your traffic activities. Though we discuss how you can get more traffic from various other sources, this is now from a specific lead magnet webinar perspective, what you need to do, which now is a campaign for, say, webinars under the lead magnet gamut of things. Now, while you're giving the inputs through, tutorial videos, live videos in YouTube, or small videos coming to TikTok, or the videos of YouTube and so on and so forth, you're writing blogs and you're putting post podcasts, etc., suggesting for people to come to your webinar. Okay, that brings 100% of your traffic in play. Okay, so suppose whoever comes in there is called as 100% traffic. That leads to your, during your webinar that you're constructing, it leads to your tripwire activities. That means an example of courseware, if you remember, we are selling a startup course or a complementary course or a conceptual course, if you will, right? Where maybe so 10 videos exist of 90 minutes approximately, and you're charging them about USD 125, right? Okay, Indian parlance could be between 5,000 to 8,000, odd rupees. So the basic level at this juncture is when from a lead magnet people move into a tripwire is about a 25% conversion. So people who come to into a webinar and see a tripwire, right, where you're converting people, you remember this, we talked about sales pitches, this, that, and the other that you give as a spiel, which converts your webinar attendees into the right kind of funnel, which was actually the business funnel using the tripwire. That is about 25%. Okay, it ranges between anything between 10% to 25%, but a good conversion ratio is 25%. So you know a threshold that you might be looking at. Okay, and you improve and tweak yourself accordingly. Now, once that happens, you put them and funnelize them into your tripwire bucket. Okay, the people have taken, and again, I relate this from a courseware perspective because that's the example we used earlier. So, so your basic course or a basic level, say silver in this case, has been taken through by 25 people. So you've been able to convert 25% of people, right? And maintain your conversion ratios. Think it through completely while you're putting your budgets. Same is applied over here. Okay, so 25%. Now, from that 25%, the people who will take action, right? And sorry, for your core, when the people want to get into the next level from your tripwire, that means your conceptual course now to get to your core product, right? That we've seen about 50 to 60% is the conversion typically, because your conceptual course as a digital asset or any other digital asset is so good that people now want to jump into your second one. Clear? Or your pre-core or your pre-digital asset is so good that they want to see the real piece now. Got it? So that conversion is about 60%. The action taken here is about, this comes into play when about 5 to 10 hours of activities gone into that. When I say that if the 10 videos took 10 minutes, 90 minutes, sorry, then this one is a 5 to 10 hour course, right? So the earlier 1.5 hour minute course, again taking the course example through from a tripwire perspective, the main core product, which is your main course where people are learning new things for their problems, is about 5 to 10 hours, okay, with all the ingredients put in. Typically costed at about 250 USD, or in your parlance about 25 between 20,000 to 25,000 rupees. Okay. Now that conversion I mentioned to you earlier is between 50 to 60%. So if you had 100 people, right, 25 got into your tripwire mode. So you got 25 into 125 USD, or the equivalent of the Indian rupees. Out of that 25, now 60% convert for your next level, right? So 25, that means about between 13 to 15 people convert for your core product. All right. So you get 15 into 25. Sorry, 15 to 250. Right. That's about 12,000. Oh, sorry, 1250 odd USD. Okay. And equivalent amount for your Indian rupee conversion. Now, out of those core product, your profit maximizer, if there's a level to your course, right? That is from course 1 to course 2 or maybe course 3, the 50% conversion happens. Okay. So now we had about 15 people odd into your core product. The conversion then becomes about 7 to 8 of them into your profit maximizer, right? Where that is a mastermind course with about, roughly between anything between 1,000 to $1,250, right? So that's the high ticket item, if you will. And then if you have horizontals or sorry verticals, then it goes on. Okay, 50 typically becomes the norm, because then people will rise up to the monk level in this case. Okay, so this is how the funneling happens, right? So you started with 100% traffic, and then you're down until your profit maximizer of about say 7-8 people. Okay, so the conversion being about 7-8% in that case, right? So these are typical industry ratios. When you start working your budgets and when you start working towards your details, this is the ratios you should be looking at. Okay, and on the right hand side, if you see what is happening, right? You start with tripwire. You're again taking the courseware example, could be any digital asset. You start with live webinars, you convert people into a mini course or a recorded course, then you take to 5-day mini courses, and a 10-day challenge, which then qualifies them to get to next level, where the tripwire comes into existence, which is in that sense your next level of course, or a digital or next level of digital asset that you've created, which then goes through various strategies that you try to do with them. You have live consultations, etc., which which will help them move to the next level, which is your core product. Then you apply various tactics and take action around that space, so that that results into your profit maximizer, which in this case becomes your L3 group of sorts, and then you bucket them accordingly in that funnel, and then you do one-to-one coaching and you high ticket program, because these are the qualified lot you want to take to the top, right? Because this is your like-minded lot. Actually, they start from the core product activities. People who learn that product from you, right, on your activities or the digital assets that they consume, will make them become to the level that you are at. Okay, so and they can spread the word around accordingly. So they, in that sense, become the like-minded lot that you want to be around with and want them to be around you. So that formulates a community in itself. And then you take them to the maximizer, because they would want to do more and want sometimes 100%, mind you. Okay. So with that said, the typical goal being profit maximizer, the advent of business funnel is all about that. Okay. So now you start thinking how and where your digital asset fits in, because these are the levers that go into play, and these are the digital whatever threshold related conversions that come into existence by virtue of a business funnel. Clear? This is where you're wearing a business hat, and to some extent when you get to the next level, how you convert from a core to maximizer, etc., is where you start wearing a marketing hat, which will then follow suit in the next one as well. Okay, so now I will see you in the next one, which is a membership funnel course. Okay, I'll see you there as a lecture.